What's poppin', y'all? It's your man DJ Steph Floss here with episode 5 of my Friends of the Program podcast with today's good friend, great friend, and amazing artist, Sue Tsai. We've actually been supposed to do this for a few days now, but I think she's very, very busy working on a big project. So, we had to put this off. But I'm about to get on the horn and we're going to get into it. Hold on. Let me call her right now. Let's make sure this works. Hopefully she picks up because it's private.
Hello.
Sue, we're recording. How are you?
Hey, Steph. What's up?
Nah, you're not laying down or nothing like that, are you? You're not asleep, are you?
I just finished painting for the day. So.
Did you finish it?
Basically, I just have to do some touch-ups, but I need like a fresh start tomorrow.
So is this...
I'm better in the morning at 6:30.
Because I've been trying to do this podcast for like a week now. Is this the reason why I haven't been able to get you to do the show? Like, is it because you've been working? You literally couldn't.
Yeah, because you have to catch me at the right time. Like I paint from as soon as the sun comes out, so I have to do it at 7 a.m. to 6 a.m. now because of daylight savings, and then I keep for 3 hours from 6 to 9, and then I have to do it all night for other stuff.
Hold on. So you only paint when the sun comes out?
Yeah, because I can only paint with natural daylight. It's the best lighting and it's better for my eyes. So
okay.
I have to start as soon as the sun comes up.
Well, that sounds totally different.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds totally different than my life, but now I understand. So I know you got to finish what you're working on, and we'll get back to what
That's why we have opposite schedules.
I mean, but we make it work sometimes. Usually tequila's involved, how we make it work. But that's fine. So listen, I'm sure you're familiar, but everybody that's tuned in right now, this is a podcast that I put together to showcase my amazing friends. Like I said, this is episode 5. Hold on. This is episode 5 of our podcast, and I have some friends that are held in higher regards than some of my other friends, but I want to give all of my friends the same recognition that I think they all deserve. And Sue, you're one of those amazing friends, and I love you and I appreciate you.
Aww.
And I just wanted to let you know that. But before we get this started, until you being the amazing artist that you are, I got some icebreaker questions, and this is what I ask everyone. They all get different icebreakers. So these are yours. They're not too ridiculous, trust me. First, what's your favorite restaurant?
I haven't drank yet.
You need a drink. It's 4 o'clock.
I have wine in front of me.
It's 4 o'clock.
It is.
All right, have a drink.
Go ahead.
What's your favorite restaurant in New York City? If you can answer that without getting anybody mad. I don't think I know this either.
No, it's hard. I have one for every cuisine, I guess. I love Jamaican food. I go to the grill a lot.
All right, so you're Jamaican. I know you. It's such a weird scenario with you and Jamaican food because you're Asian and you love Jamaican food like you're from the islands. I never could understand.
I do, but my best friend is Jamaican.
All right, so that's where that comes from.
I think that's where it comes from.
You've legit. I know for a fact that you've had 2 birthday celebrations that you've incorporated Jamaican themes into it. We had the one where it was like a bashment, and then another one where we did Jamaican brunch the next 30th. Day. So your favorite Jamaican restaurant in New York City?
I mean that's just regular. We just do that. Yeah, we just go to brunch.
So would you say Negril?
I'll say I think I've gone to Negril the most.
Negril the most. All right. So everybody out there like Jamaican food, go to Negril. What's your favorite movie of all time?
Oh, that's hard.
It's not hard. Everybody has a favorite movie. You asked me my
favorite.
favorite.
I don't think I have a favorite movie.
You asked me my favorite movie. I can name you 5 that could be considered my favorite. Everybody has a favorite movie.
Um,
Not
they're
one.
like really random.
These are random questions. You got to give me one.
Okay. Um, Cruel Intentions used to be one of my favorite movies.
Cool Intentions is one of my favorites.
Um, Monsters Inc.
All right, never mind. You go from Cruel Intentions to Monsters. Those don't even make sense together.
Yeah, then I was gonna go. And then my next movie was gonna be Argo.
It was gonna be Argo. What'd you say, Argos? All right, so
You
look.
never seen Argo?
No, I've never seen. I've seen
Oh my
previews
god,
for it.
Argo is such an amazing movie.
I've seen. I know the premise of it. I've seen previews, but I've never. I like. It's so hard for me to watch movies. I just saw Bad Boys 3. Bad Boy. What is it called? Bad Boys Forever or whatever. I just saw that 2 days ago.
The new one or the second one?
The new one with where they were in Miami. Well, I guess all of it.
I
With
know.
Cali.
I've never seen those movies.
Yeah, it's such a it's such a hassle to go to the movies, but I finally went and saw it, and it was actually very good. All right, without telling us how old you are, what's something from your childhood that could only be associated with how old you are? I'm gonna give you a hint. Mine is like
AOL dial-up internet.
I guess you don't need to hit. You said
What?
you said AOL.
Yeah, the dial-up. You had to like you couldn't use the phone.
What was your AIM name?
Like I can't. That's so embarrassing.
You said what was it?
Oh my god, it was Angel Kiss 127.
Angel Kiss. Why? Why?
And then after that, I changed it to Sue XOX. I can't.
Mine was Street Star 2.
Yeah.
Mine was Street Star 216. Street Star 216. Oh my God. All right. Two more questions for you before we get this thing started. Why is Last Lap so good? Why is it so good?
Wait, do you ask everyone that? Or are you just asking me?
No, these are just for you. I have not asked anybody else these questions. I
Of course, I was like, you would ask me about Last Lap. I think Last Lap is so dope just because for us, it's kind of like a watering hole for like our group of friends. And the fact that like it's our own friends who own it, it's super dope to be able to like support that and just have like a small place that like we always kind of feel welcome. You know everyone, and like the food and drinks are good. It's just a dope place to like I guess meet up with your friends.
It's so you remember Cheers? Remember that show Cheers?
Yeah.
It's
I was gonna say it's like Friends. It's like our Central Perk.
No, it is. It is. It's like it's a combination of Friends and Central Perk. Like, and I'm not even from New York, but if I had one place that I had to go in New York City every time I go there, it's gonna be Last Lap. Although my favorite bartender, I think she's pregnant now, or she just had the baby, so she probably will be out of commission for a while. But it's all good. I mean, life happens. It's all good. I can't be mad at her. I try.
I wonder if she got pregnant at Last Lap.
You say she get pregnant in Last Lap?
No, I wonder if she got pregnant at Last Lap.
I hope so. All right, last one. Tequila. If you had to choose between a silver or blanco, reposado or anejo, which one would you choose?
Blanco.
Blanco. Fun fact about Sue, everyone. And we kind of bond on tequila. She kind of like every time we drink tequila or she drinks tequila, whatever it is, she ends up crying in some capacity. It's one of the most ridiculous things.
First of all, not always.
At least 90% of the time.
It's like 60.
It's like 74% of the time. Like I think maybe the last time we drank, it was no crying, but it was mad early and mad hot. What was that, Basel? Y'all had me outside at 11 o'clock in the morning.
What was that? What was that time?
It was so high, and I was fresh off a plane. I couldn't check in. But anyway, all right. So
Did I cry?
no, you didn't cry. You didn't cry. You didn't cry during the day. I don't know if you.
Oh, I thought you were saying I cried then. I was like, I don't remember crying
No,
in
no, no, you
Miami.
didn't. That's why I said 70%. 75% of the time you drink tequila and you cry. It probably has something to do with you being an artist, and we'll get to that in a
It
minute.
is.
But
I'm very emotional.
I know you're like a Pisces. I'm a Pisces. So I might as well be an artist. It's crazy.
I'm
It's
an Aquarius. All my friends are Pisces.
that's why we mesh so well. Are we so? I mean, on the sign like the sign chart, what's it called? The astrology sign chart. Are Pisces and Aquarius supposed to get along well?
I'm not gonna. I don't know that much, but I just know I'm Aquarius, and I'm the only. Like, I don't have any Aquarius friends. Like, but then all my friends are Pisces. So I think it just means like Pisces all get along with each other, and then I guess I don't get along with other Aquariuses. I don't know, but it's
Pi-
just me, and then all Pisces.
Pisces are such good people. So this is how me and Sue actually became
Yeah.
friends. Well, I'll tell you the story. So I actually became very. No, I'm not. I'm not. By the way, the story you think I'm going to tell Sue, I'm not going to really delve all the way into that story. But this is this is this is my version. This is the podcast version of
Okay.
of this story. So I actually
I
became.
don't think it is bad.
No, 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 it's not. I just don't want to go into. Let me do this part first, and then I'll go into that part. I just didn't want to go into
Okay.
too many specifics. So I actually became familiar with Sue off of Twitter just because of mutual friends, and it was a bunch of mutual friends that I had that she had, and I would see, you know how people retweet other people and bring them into your timeline, and she was always responsive to them. She was cool, beautiful young lady, and her art was dope. And I was like, all right, so I'll finally start following her, and we started interacting on Twitter and everything. And I really didn't really too much know that much about Sue, and I'm talking to you now. I didn't really know that much about you, but then I started seeing like all of this talk about Wale's bad single cover, and then the Rihanna remix to the single cover. And then I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess she's like a real artist. I mean, like, not to be disrespectful to like any other artist, but I'm like, I don't really know too many like
Yeah.
real. I'm like, oh, she's really doing stuff. But before we get into that, you're an artist now. You're an amazing artist. Um, but did you grow up like wanting to be an artist, or did you just pick that up later in life because it was something that you found out that you were dope at? Like me, I wanted to, when I didn't want to be a DJ when I was super young. I wanted to be a scientist. That didn't work out well,
Right.
and here we are, you know, doing this music thing that I love. So with with you and your childhood, did you come out the womb wanting to like or drawing, or how did that work?
I came out the womb definitely creative and always drawing and liking to like create things, but not necessarily. So that there's different, I guess, like stages to what I wanted to do as far as art. I was always drawing and sketching more so, not painting. Painting is something that I used to hate when I was younger. It was just something I didn't like to do. People usually either draw or paint, like one or the other, like two completely different
What would you draw? Like
kind of
sketch?
mediums and aesthetics.
What would be a childhood
Like
sketch?
pencil drawings and like color pencils.
Okay.
And I used to want to like illustrate children's book. I used to like write my own children's book. Like, I think I wanted to be an illustrator more so when I was younger.
How old were
And
you when you were
then
writing your own
I think
children's
I was, you
books?
know what it is? I have very, mhm,
How old were you when you were writing your own children's books?
mm, I don't know, 7, 8.
Okay. I'm talking about, it's talking 17. I'm
Yeah.
talking about 8 or 9. What was going on back then?
No, I said 7. I said 7 or 8.
Oh, I thought you said 17. I'm like, you're an adult.
No, 7 or 8. Like super young. Like I used to submit my books to like the libraries for like contests and stuff, and I actually won one time,
Oh, wow.
and I still have that book.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, I'm actually going to take you pictures of that. Yeah, so it was more of like that. Like I have very little patience, so I like things that can be kind of done like quickly. So like the drawings, I was always kind of like it was like a small scale thing, and I never really got into painting because it was just um, it was just difficult for me at times, and I hated kind of art class, which is ironic. Back in back in school, I didn't like being told like what to paint, and I didn't want I didn't want to paint friggin' fruits and vegetables and like still life. So I hated art at that time for like a pretty long period of time. I was like that just wasn't my interest. But I still always kind of had that creative one. I was just doing it on the side. And it wasn't until like way later in like after I graduated college I really picked up a brush and was like, and you know what it was? It was an ex that actually got me started because I told him that like I used to do a lot more art. I haven't done it recently, and he was like, you should paint me something. And of course, like I'm like
Aw,
okay,
aw.
and I did, and that's really how I got. That's how I really started that. I posted that one painting, and then people had amazing feedback to it, and they want to see more, and that got me kind of really started
Two questions. So
pursuing like
does
making
that
myself.
does that ex know that they put the battery in your back and they got this amazing career
I
of
don't think
help?
so. I don't want to. I don't know if I want to give them that satisfaction.
Oh God, you haven't
So
told them
I
like
don't know. I don't.
you haven't told them over all of these years like
I don't. Honestly,
thank you.
I don't know. I don't know. If you know them.
Not even
Huh?
a thank you. Not even a thank you. Like you can't even tell them thank you. Shoot,
Um,
that's ridiculous. So now,
everything happens for a reason.
this is true. Second part of that question: Does that did you end up keeping that piece or selling that piece, or does that ex still have that piece?
No, I never gave it to him. I have it still. It's my baby.
Wait, so he asked you to make him a piece of art.
But his name is on it. His name is on the back.
Oh, hold on. So you've never do you have the original?
Yeah, I have the original.
Will you
I
ever
never gave it to him.
will you ever sell it?
Would I ever give it to him?
No,
Or sell it?
would you ever sell it?
No,
You would never sell it.
no.
You still in love. Aw, that's cute.
No, I'm
Aw.
just I'm a very sentimental person.
Uh-huh.
I have a lot of pieces that don't sell, you know that.
So, you know what's crazy? So that was one of the questions I had for you, like later on in this conversation. But we might as well get right into it
We
right now.
completely veered off how we met.
No,
That's
yeah.
like the
Oh,
thing you
you
started
all
with.
right? You want to go back to how we met? All right, and then I'll get to this question. All right, so we were on Twitter and all of that. So then there was a party. We were both at the same party. I'll never forget. So Sue was always so cool, and I'm like, oh, she's cool, but it's a lot of times, especially in the like in the what's that? You know what's crazy? That's probably like 2012, 2013, and that era of Twitter. Like a lot of chicks would just like be like bougie, like the Twitter girls. They wouldn't really even interact with people and stuff like that. So I'm like, Sue has to be catfish. This woman has to be catfish. I really haven't seen her outside of the internet. She's just like the coolest person in the world. So we ended up at the same party, and I saw her, and the first thing I thought is, oh my god, like she's real and she has no choice but to interact in conversation with me because at this party it was like a private type of thing. No phones were involved. So I'm like, well, I could sit there. She's by herself. I'm going to introduce myself. We're going to get to talking. And that's what I did. Do you remember that?
Yeah, that was the best night. Honestly, that having no phone thing was the best ever because it's like you were forced to like talk to people and hang out with everyone, and it was definitely a good vibe.
It was the greatest vibe. And that's actually, I think, where we kind of solidified our friendship. Like we sat there. I remember tequila in
Yeah,
the
we had like a heart to heart. It was
no,
like it was because
this
the party went to like 6 a.m. Right?
yeah, it was like a whole party going on, and me and Sue were just sitting at the table for hours having a heart to heart. And I remember the one thing that I was
Yeah.
really, the one thing I was really passionate about, excuse me, around that time was, and still, I just thought it was so like I was, into your art and getting more into your art and getting more into other people's arts as well. And I just thought it was ridiculous that we praise an artist makes so much more money after they pass away. And I remember us having this conversation, like,
Right. I forgot we had that conversation.
yeah, I remember us having this conversation, like, yo, we have to figure out a way where artists can be appreciated now while they're still here, and they can make a bankroll while they're still here. Because there's no point in your estate making a bankroll if you're
No,
not
we
here.
were definitely like drunk and crying.
I mean, it
Like
was that.
we're gonna make while we're still here.
Like, we're gonna make it
Like
happen
you're
while we're
like, Sue, we're gonna get you there.
We're drunk. We're off the tequila. We're crying. It's an amazing party going on. I don't even know if anybody else was paying us any attention, but we weren't paying anybody any attention, and we were having this in-depth conversation on making artists their money while they're still here. And I was like, Sue, it starts with you. It has to start with you. If it doesn't go anywhere, you know what I'm saying? If it doesn't start with anybody else, it has to start with you. So that's how that's our story. That's how me
Crazy.
and
And that was you said that was what, 8 years ago already?
yeah, that was 8 years ago. That's crazy.
7, 8?
That was seven,
Right.
8 years ago. And you've been the same emotional person and emotional friend ever since that day. And I still appreciate you. So back to the emotional part of what I was saying. Now that we got our first meeting out of the way, I can't understand. Like, it's so ridiculous to me. Artists are and I say artists because I'm basing it off of you. It's such a ridiculous thing to me that you guys, and you in particular, you make these amazing paintings, amazing pieces, and then you find it hard to sell them or give them away or whatever. Like, what's the point? What is the point? Like you said, you made that piece for that man, and there's an attachment with it. You don't want it. Why not sell it? There are other pieces that I've talked to you personally that you put your blood, sweat, and tears into, and then you like get sad, start crying, like you don't want to sell it when somebody wants to buy it. What is the point? What is the point? What are you sitting up?
It's not that. It's just that. It just depends. Like, sometimes I just put so much of like my heart and soul into it. It like really feels like my child, and it really it depends what it is, because sometimes I need to sell it just to release it. Like, if I'm going to do something super tough, I put everything into that piece, and then it kind of is like my healing process. And after that's like, all right, like I've gotten what I need to out of this, and then I'm going to sell it, and I don't ever have to see it again. I have, things like that. But then I have ones that are like, I need them as a reminder to myself. Like, once I have certain messages to me, or like if it helped me out of a better place, like they're just certain ones that I still kind of need to hold on to. So I guess that, they vary. And you know what? It also depends on who the person is that's buying it, because I almost feel like I want that person to really, appreciate the piece. So it's almost like an adoption process. It really depends on the person who's collecting the art, because, I'm never going to see it again, and they're going to have it in their home. So it really depends on the person too. But I'm willing, basically every piece I'm willing to sell. It's just, I think there's a time and circumstance for everything. And then also the other thing is, it's like once you sell it, it'll never really be seen again. And I do my shows, every 2 years, so I need them to kind of like make their rounds first, so that all the fans can come see it and appreciate it in person. Because there's so much different when you see it in person than it is on Instagram.
Yeah, you're right.
So I really like to get them through the shows first, go through like like travel a bit, and after that I'm like, all right, like this one it's I can sell it, and it's usually maybe like a year or two after, which isn't that bad.
I mean, it's not that bad, but I've actually seen you very sad to sell a piece, and I'm thinking like, yo, I know how much this original painting is going for. There's no way I wouldn't sell that right now. I don't care about the 40,000 hours and put it in.
Because it's really not. I'm so blessed to be in a place where it's not about the money. Like, there were times when I needed that money right away, so I was like, you have to sell it, and it like pains me. But if I'm in a place where I don't like really need that money to come in, like and they're gonna want it regardless at some point in the future, I don't have to sell it, because my art, financially, everything that supports it is through all the other stuff, the merchandise, the prints, and that's why I do stuff like that. If I paint one painting and I can make, like hundreds of prints, so I can make pillows or phone pieces, stickers with that, and that's what generates the money. And then the originals I can still really kind of keep and hold on to myself for whatever I need.
That makes a lot of sense. That makes a ton of sense. I'm actually looking at various pillows, various Sue pillows on my couch right now as we say that. Now, I didn't even plan on asking you this, but this is something I just thought about that I wanted to know. So based on what percentage, all right, so say the piece you're making right now, you know what you're going to sell it for. What's the percentage of money spent on making that piece of what you would make from the profit? Does that make sense?
Sell it?
Yeah,
Oh,
sir.
I mean, the
Let's just
profit
say, let's just say,
is crazy, but
let's
it's
just
not
say,
cheap to it either.
all right,
Because I use,
let me just say, for
because the
example,
value of my artwork has, go ahead.
no, I'll let you finish.
Okay. Because the value of my art has substantially increased, and because I'm putting so much more time and energy into my pieces, they're hundreds of hours now, I have to use kind of like the best of the best materials.
Okay.
So with that being said, like everything kind of has gotten upgraded through the years. Like before, it was like, pre-bought canvases when I first started, like from Michaels and things like that. And then I started getting custom stretch canvas one that was sturdier and had better quality that didn't like bend, with different temperatures and things like that. Now, just recently in the past year, I've upgraded to aluminum metal structure, so they're like super, super durable because they travel around, they're on all different temperatures, hot, cold. And then things like paint. When I first started, I was using paint that probably cost $5. You could buy it from probably CVS, and brushes and things like that. And then now the paints are like one bottle is like $50, $60, $70. Brushes
Ooh, somebody get
expensive. Brushes
money.
$100. It really makes a difference in quality and ease of like. A good artist can really paint with anything. I could always paint with the same stuff I painted from the beginning. It just makes my life a little bit easier. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that
to
makes
like
sense.
get the quality I want without so much effort of having to like blend, shitty paint, that are like watered down or like not as pigmented as it's more expensive. So it's regardless, I mean, I don't need it, but it's just I'm in a place where I just feel like with the value increasing in the artwork and materials and everything, that's kind of the foundation has to increase as well.
Now you had to upgrade. What's been your
So, to answer your question, I guess the number wise, a canvas now costs about like $600-$700 for the canvas. Paints will be like a few hundred, brushes a couple hundred, and I go through a new batch of brushes every painting. I have to replace them.
So it's really
they get so worn out.
It's really not cheap. I mean, $600-$700 for a canvas isn't.
No, it's not cheap. I spend $1,000 to $2,000 per painting, I guess.
Oh, okay, so yeah, all right. Well, that's not even what I was thinking. So yeah, that's not cheap. What's been the toughest piece for you to sell to date? If you've sold it already.
You mean like no one wants to buy it, or I don't want to sell it?
Two. All right, let's get to that's the twofold question. What's been the toughest one for you to emotionally let go?
The hardest, the one that I'm for sure never probably going to sell is the one that the one that really kind of started my career, the one with the girl shooting with her finger shooting in her head and the heart coming out.
With the money, with the
Called Love Saves.
What is it called?
Love Saves. It's the girl with like shooting the heart coming out of her head.
Yeah, okay, I know what you're talking
that
about.
That one was like really, really personal to me. But it's also the one that like the only one that possibly that I might go forward to is probably Rihanna, because she's the one who kind of posted that artwork and kind of really gave me a great platform to really start my art career with that. So I think that if I was going to sell, that might be the only person I would sell it to.
Now, was that the one used for the bad remix?
But that one's super close to my heart.
Was that the one used for the bad artwork or no?
No, so the bad artwork came after that. But people, for some reason, always think that that's the bad artwork. And I'm not really sure why. Maybe because everything happened very quickly around the time. So like Rihanna posted that artwork, and then while I reached out about
Right.
getting artwork done for Bad, and then Bad came out maybe like 3 months later. So it was around the time of Bad going viral and then Bad coming out. So I guess like time period wise, maybe that's why people get confused. But the Bad Color is the girl with the green hair, and she has a heart cut out of her chest.
Right, right, right. Which and the one Rihanna
Yeah,
posted was the X's over the breast. Is that the one you're talking about?
right,
Okay,
right, and the red hearts coming
and the
out of
red
her
heart's
head.
coming out, and that's the one you won't want to sell. All right. So what's been the toughest that the toughest that you just can't sell that you think the people don't want?
um,
This takes a lot of humility, by the way.
I don't. I mean, I don't think that they're. It's more the ones that were like getting. I think it's always the ones that I'm like trying new things, and they don't really. They would just me kind of experimenting with different techniques, and it's maybe not so reflective of my art style. But like those are usually you wouldn't even like you wouldn't even know it. That's why I can't even
Right now,
describe to you what it is. But it's there's always one kind of in between where I'm kind of just figuring out new directions and trying to figure out like how I can um progress in different directions and explore and whatnot. And it's always those like kind of weird middle ones that are like awkward.
now, speaking of your art
But
style,
I don't know.
like speaking of your art style, so I never really even I never asked you this. We were at a dinner for my birthday in New York the other day. Big shout out to my girl D. Actually, she Sue D just sent me
I'm having tea with dinner on Thursday.
oh, you are? I just got a package from her today from my favorite football,
Mm-hmm.
my favorite soccer club, Bayern Munich. I just got some stuff. She just sent
Me
me some
too.
amazing stuff. So big shout out to D. But
We're
when
going to Germany.
you going to Germany?
Yeah,
When?
you're coming too.
Hey, I'm definitely coming. Well, she mentioned that to me the other day, so I'm definitely down. But when she asked you what your art style was, what did you say?
I kind of describe myself as pop surrealism.
Okay, and why?
So if you know surrealism, it's kind of like it kind of speaks of it's surreal, so it's realistic, but not really like how Salvador Dali and that kind of style. But mine is very vivid and has also like a pop art aesthetic to it. So I kind of call it pop surrealism.
Like I'm looking at
So it's kind of like a
I'm looking
mixture
at
of both.
the Dom Perignon bottles right now with the Mickey Mouse hands. Is this so? That's basically what you're talking
Hmm.
about.
Right. So it's like it's also like obviously progressed throughout the years. I mean, that artwork's from 2013 or 14. So I'm obviously watching throughout the years, and my style has evolved since then,
That makes
as
sense.
far as like details and just skills and things like that. So the humans and figures and stuff like that tend to get a little more realistic, and um, details are more obvious and shading and blending and things like that.
Is there one thing that you put into every piece of art besides your signature that you make sure you do on purpose? Because there was one time I'm actually looking at I started seeing a bunch of middle fingers in your artwork, and I was like, hold on, is this on purpose or is this just a
No,
coincidence?
that was just, that's only two. But it usually goes by collection. So with that one, yeah, and then there was period when I was doing like all the circles. They represented my anxiety and energy and things like that. So there was like that one whole collection where there was tons of like tiny little rings of
Oh
circles,
yeah, that
and it's
was
still
ridiculous. Oh my
in
god,
here and there.
I remember when you were making that, and I was like, yo, how are you? Like,
I
how is this
know,
going to even happen? That was giving me anxiety.
I know. It,
Like,
it was it was actually like releasing that anxiety, and it gives other people anxiety, which is funny.
no, you definitely got me very anxious. Yo, have you ever done anything like when you were in a quote unquote good space? Like how's like it? and me knowing you and then the things you've said thus far, it sounds like you can only make art, or you will only make art if there's like a something emotional going on, and not emotional in a good way.
Right. I'm learning to kind of paint from a positive and happier place. I think I'm in for the first time. I think I'm in probably the happiest I've ever been in my life right now in this moment.
Oh, that's nice.
And I'm still creating, so I think I'm figuring it out. But yeah, for sure, for the longest time, I only painted when I was really sad. Like I only, it's not that I can't paint, it's that I don't find inspiration in something and wanting to paint something without being either depressed or feeling broken of some kind, or having some, or going through something. Art has always been like therapy, so you only need that kind of therapeutic. You only need the therapy when you're going through something. So that's the only time I felt like I was creating. So, but now I think I'm in a better place, and I'm just finding, how to create things that are out of happiness and being positive.
I remember there was one time where you were actually in a great place. You wanted to make something, and we were like FaceTiming, and every time we were FaceTime for like days, you'll just be sitting in the canvas and just be blank, like for a week. And I'm like, what are you doing? You're like, you're like, I can't find any inspiration. And do you remember this? You actually told me, and it's still top 3, one of the weirdest things I've ever heard anybody do in my life. You were like, you were going to your neighbors. You were about to go over to your neighbor's house to ask your neighbors, could you, what was you going to ask them? Could you borrow their kids?
Borrow the kids? No, I do that a lot. I know it sounds really creepy. But artists usually use like reference photos to kind of, when you're painting humans or kids, you want to get things accurate. A lot of times I'll ask my friend's kids, like if I find someone that's like the right age or height or whatever it is I'm looking for that painting, I'll ask my friend's kids, like, can I have them pose for me, and I'm going to photograph them, and then I use that figure in my painting, so I have a reference photo, kind of get everything accurate. And then there was a time where I didn't have anyone to have a reading photo with my neighbors. I didn't know them that well, and I was like, I just want to like go over there and ask if I could like photograph their kids by painting, and I know it sounds so creepy.
You're like, yeah, I've been watching you out. I've been watching your family out of. You're like, I've been watching your family out of my window, and your kids look like perfect for what I'm
I know it sounds so creepy, but. And then sometimes I like look online. It's just never the same, because like you can like Google it, like you can find stock images of kids and stuff like just in that position, but it's not exactly what I want. Sometimes my paintings are weird. Like sometimes they're sitting on a skull, or like so. The last painting where I use one is Sophia's daughter, one is Chrissy's son. It's the one I used to have a beautiful life for the boys like reaching out.
Oh yeah, I love it.
And Sophia lives super far in Jersey. But I knew that her daughter, Mimi, was like perfect for it. And I asked her to like send me. I did the pose, and then I texted her and I was like, "Can you send me Mimi in this pose? Like put her on sitting on the kitchen counter, because this girl's sitting like on the edge of a hill. So like put her on the kitchen counter, and then this exact angle, and she just couldn't. Because the angle has to be right too, because like it has to be the same angle as the other one for the painting to like make sense.
Right.
If you do it like too high or too low, it's like the perspective is off. So I was like, no, I'm coming over there. So I drove 2 hours to Jersey.
So you drove all the way to Jersey?
Yeah.
You
have to do what you gotta do. You don't know how much happens behind before painting starts.
I understand. I mean, if a child is going to be an obstacle and you getting your paint done, you got to do what you got to do. I totally understand. I want to know, when you went over to your new neighbor's house, like knocking on the door, ringing the doorbell, how did you, like, please tell me, how did you ask them?
You know what's really funny? So they moved. I don't know if they sold the house.
Because of you. That's why they did it.
Like this weird lady next door.
Now, with Sophia's child or with any other children that you use, do the kids end up looking like those kids? Like, would the kids, when they grow up, be able to look at the
Yeah, they look, yeah.
So the kid that I'm looking at now, who is that kid? The
So
black.
that's Chrissy's son Andre. So the funny part is, so then I used to make stickers out of like the different
Hold on, what you
elements of the
say?
piece. So there's stickers for him, and he wanted a purple hoodie.
Hold on, what did you say about the stickers? I couldn't hear you.
He deserves a beautiful life.
Yeah, yeah.
I so I usually make stickers out of like the different parts of the painting. So I have a sticker of just the boy in the purple hoodie holding the balloon, who's Andre. And he was like, "Can I get some stickers?" And I was like, "Yes." I sent him a whole pack. And then Chrissy's mom, she's like, "So I'm just passing them out at school to girls talking about this is me."
Oh, nice. It's like
So funny.
Valentine's Day every day. So that's who the kid is on the piece
I
that you're working
know.
on. So what piece are you working on now? Because I'm only seeing snippets like everyone else. I mean, I've seen a little
I
more,
know.
but
It's basically done now. So it'll be out on Thursday.
Thursday, like today's Monday,
It's
and like
it's a good one. Yeah, so it's just an inspirational piece. I don't want to give it away, but
okay,
it's a good one.
it's a good
It's
one.
it's been a hard one to get through, and you know what it is? It's always the things that people never know. Like the hardest parts in all my paintings are the parts that people would never expect. Like for this one, I did. It's technically painted like on a brick wall as the background, so I had to paint the brick wall first,
Right.
and the brick wall was like took me like 3 weeks. That was the hardest part.
That was the hardest part.
And it's
Wow.
like stuff that people aren't very know. I'm like, well, that's just the background, you know. So then it's funny because when I posted a preview of it on my Instagram story, and do you know BK the artist Brian?
What's her
So
name?
he's another super dope artist, Brian.
Okay.
You should follow him. BK the artist. Shout out to him. So he's like, yo, he's like that. Everyone was commenting on my boy. They're like, oh my god, super realistic. And Brian was like, yo, that wall though, like, and I was like, you get it.
Yeah.
You
See,
get it. It's definitely an artist.
that's definitely an artist thing. That's what that sounds like to me. So as a DJ, like you got, I mean, you're drunk in the club, not paying attention to anyway. So like when you're in the club, you're hearing DJs play music. You just know what you like, and if the song is hot, and if you'll listen to transitions and stuff like that. But just as long as the DJ's not sloppy and he's playing good music, you'll be having a good time. But there are times where us DJs
Yeah.
we actually do something like very very artistic with the music, and nobody in the club cares. They don't give
Yeah.
up. They don't care. But like there'll be another DJ in there
Yeah.
like yo, I heard that. And then on the inside, or you were like,
Yeah, no,
yes,
that's definitely like the same thing.
we're like, thank God somebody, I
Yeah.
did this for all of this, and nobody's gonna understand it. I'm like, yes, somebody found out. But no, I've been seeing what you've been doing. So is this piece coming from a totally happy place? Like the entire time you've done this piece, have you been in a good space?
Yeah, it's coming from a place of just it's coming from a point in my life where I feel like, it's time to get everything I've ever wanted to do done. I feel like regardless of perceived success or, just being, in a good place, there's always so many more things that I want to accomplish. It's still very early on for me. And it's about, taking the steps to accomplish stuff. So it's definitely a very inspirational piece, and it's pushing me um, to kind of like the next level of my life, and also hoping that it inspires other people to do the same. And then it's also like it shout out, a couple of close friends, obviously, you saw that you were in it too. See, like little details, like the stickers are all like people who kind of inspired me and also inspired the same message who've done the same thing.
Oh,
The message up in the painting.
this is the one I'm in.
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh my God, I'm so happy. I can't wait. You know how excited I
You
was.
saw it. You saw it on FaceTime already. Don't say the name of it, but
I'm
I'll
not.
send you a picture.
I'm not gonna say I don't remember the name of it or anything, but I remember that, and I was just like, yo, that is so dope. By the way, I'm gonna tell the world this, and I'm gonna tell you this. Like, you are an amazing friend. Like, they're like, it's very rare when you find like very very good friends once you're already an adult and once you already really established most of your friends. But I really
Yeah.
appreciate the friendship. Like even
Yeah.
with like my birthday parties and stuff like that, you'll come. You know what I'm saying? Like that's like Steph. I'll be there. You don't even have to worry about anything. I'll make sure I'm there. Let's do dinner. Like any city, I really, really appreciate that. And especially you.
I know. I mean, you do the same for me. You literally will fly to like any of my shows, and it's like I mean, our friendship is very special to me, and I feel like we've always been supporting each other throughout the years, and that's really also a part of why we've become who we are. And then it's important to kind of, especially in recent times, like it's just so important to kind of be grateful for the amazing friendships you have around you, and to
Very
kind of
much.
appreciate them as much as.
And what I also appreciate and what I do see is like your friendships with like your team is basically your friends. Like I don't really know how it works, but it works very well. I don't know if all of your
Right.
friends are employees or I don't know, but I love Jess. I
But
love
that's the
Hands.
part that you can't tell is what's the best part. Is because
Yeah.
some people are being paid, some are not, but you can never tell the difference because
Right.
my friends, no matter what, if they're not being paid, or if they are exactly the same, and they'll roll up their sleeves and do whatever they can to help me. And I've never ever taken that for granted. And it's so dope to be able to build what I'm building with the help of people so close to me, and that we can kind of all grow together as a unit.
And I love all of them so much, and I really appreciate it because all of you are like basically East Coast. You're all in New York, New Jersey, whatever. And everybody, like when I'm in town or wherever, it's like I'm part of the crew. Like I remember, I won't elaborate, but I remember the one night we went to and I don't even smoke hookah, but it was like we were in the Middle East. Do you remember that hookah spot? It was like in the
What?
base. You don't remember that hookah spot? It was like in the basement. We left one of your art shows, and we went to a
Oh,
hookah.
it was after my birthday.
Oh, it was after your birthday, yeah. But I just remember like
It was
those.
after the grill,
Okay,
right?
yeah, yeah, it was, and we was there. Yeah, we were out all day. But I just remember those moments, and you being like your crew is your family, and like it's just a beautiful thing. I see when you set up your galleries, all the same people. They're always there working and helping, and even like in New York, I mean, excuse me, like LA or somewhere like that, there'll be like one other person that I haven't seen in a while, but I'll see them when it's showtime, and you have an
Mm-hmm.
amazing group of friends. I think that's an amazing testament.
I do.
Uh,
That's one of the most things I'm like people can't buy the loyalty that like and support that I have. Like it's just something I hold very dear to my heart, and I have so many like loving and supportive people around me. It's really like it's amazing. I've been definitely not been in places
and,
like
and
I am now without everyone.
the way they help you out with the galleries is like ridiculous. Speaking of galleries, hold on, how many shows have you done this far? Gallery shows.
7.
You've done 7. Did I come to the first one?
Yeah. No, that was before. My first show was in 2012.
Okay, so I've probably been to 6, including LA, right?
We just met like maybe maybe a month or two. Oh no, it was the next. No. We didn't meet yet. This is a long time. My first show, there was also only a 1 day show
Okay.
because that's all I could afford at the time.
Well, you can do like a tour now. You definitely making a lot of money.
Huh?
I said you could definitely do like a tour now. You don't have to do just like a 1 day show, like for sure. Uh, so
It's crazy. I can't believe we did a 1 day show. Like all that work for 1 day was crazy.
your last show you did was the last one in New York. How many days? It's like a week now, right? Every trip is like a week or like
It's it's 3 weeks.
3, and you're there every day.
Mhm.
No, I think that's the most like ridiculous thing. I mean, it's ridiculous as in good because I've seen the way the
Yeah.
fans attract to you, especially children. And I know you have to be like a beacon of light for like a bunch of young ladies. I see them; they want to take pictures with you, and your art. You probably taking over a million. You're like Jay-Z when it comes to pictures in the art world. Like I know you.
Stop.
I,
It's hard because it's like at some point I don't think I'm gonna be able to. You know what I mean? First of all, it's exhausting, and then you already know me. I'm like,
right,
if you don't know me, I'm already a shy person,
right, right,
and
right.
then you also know I hate pictures. But it's like these are the things that I have to do because like you know what I mean? Like it means a lot to people, and then I would hate to like not be there one day and then all of a sudden I find out like someone, because there's people that like have driven like 10 hours to come to my show. And then like
Wow.
I miss that person. Like, so I really try super hard to be at the show as much as I can just so I can meet every single possible person I can. I'm not going to be able to do that forever and all the time, but while I still can, I'm definitely going to take advantage of that.
No, you have to. As long as I tell myself this all the time. Sometimes my phone gets to ringing a lot, and then I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
yo, I wish it just stopped. But then I start thinking like, one day if it stops, that's it. Like I don't, you know what? You get what you wish
Mm-hmm.
for. Like let it keep ringing. Let the people keep taking pictures with you. Let everything happen, as it's supposed to happen. Now I know you're busy. You have the finishing touches to do on your last piece. I'm gonna let you get up out of here in a minute. But like this isn't a traditional, like it's not an interview. This is us talking as friends. But we have to discuss. we, we have to discuss your Puma collab, which I really appreciate and which I loved, especially when we were in London. I remember shopping in Harrods and seeing your stuff over there and like buying so much stuff to come back with. Still didn't get the book back, but that's because it was just so sought after and what I'm saying, sold out. But like that collab was amazing. You did 2 seasons of that, right?
Right. So it was all of 2019. We did a spring, summer, and a fall, winter.
Oh, it was just so it
I
was
did
one
like
year,
60
two
something pieces
seasons.
in total.
So it was all 1 year though, with 2 seasons.
Right.
Oh, I didn't even
Right. But it was probably it was 2 years worth of work. So the between the initial starting and then kind of the marketing, it seemed a little bit long for like 2 years, but it was technically spring, summer, 19 and fall, winter 19.
So you started working on that in like 2017.
Mm-hmm.
Now, was this something that you reached out to them for, or they reached out? How did that come to fruition?
Um, it was just, I think through, I know that they were looking for a female artist to collab with, and then between me and the person in head at that time, we have some mutual contacts, and I think they just connected us like, oh, she would be super dope. Um, and they set up a meeting, and we met, and I kind of gave my ideas. The funny thing is, I wore Adidas to my first Puma meeting
Please, you know what?
without
I was gonna tell
like
you
realizing it.
I was gonna tell you tell them the story you told me the other day. Please, please.
So we like go. So this is kind of like our first initial meeting where I'm like just pitching ideas. I had so many meetings that day. The first thing in the morning, I was like, I have to wear my Pumas today. Like I had a Puma meeting. Cool. So I put on what I thought were my Puma sneakers. Went out the door. Had my whole day. Went to the meeting, and it wasn't even like I didn't like my two warners. It was we were talking about ideas. And I literally like pointed at my shoe and was like, yeah, like just this silhouette, but add here. And I was like designing my ideas on the shoe. And he didn't say anything about it. He just kept nodding his head. Cool. All right, the meeting's over. I walk out. My girl was outside waiting for me. As we're like, walking out, she's like, oh, I like those Adidas. Those are dope. And I'm like, oh, no, these are Puma. She's like, no, they're Adidas. So I look and I'm like, holy shit, they're fucking Adidas sneakers. And I just wanted to like slap myself, but
Oh
I
my
mean, it
god.
worked out. So still went through.
So is there gonna be a second season or a third season or however it would be?
I have a couple of things in the works right now. I can't say who they're with, but I have a ton of stuff coming out this year and next year. Within the apparel and other sneakers and stuff like that, but not necessarily just kind of open ended.
Okay. So look, your new piece is gonna drop when Thursday, right?
Yeah.
So how quick is the merch gonna be available? Like and the prints is that so everything drops on Thursday? Will everything be ready, or just the original piece for
Right. So
showing?
by the time no, because when I post it, I want everything to be on the website already. Because as soon as I post any painting, people just automatically go to my site.
Right.
Regardless, I don't usually I don't want to lose the traffic and there's nothing there. So I usually kind of I finish the painting a few days earlier, and then I have time to I have to photograph it, digitize it, pre-order kind of like all the merch that I'm going to make with it, and then I can set up links that we can watch that are not available yet so that they can pre-order it as soon as I release payment online. So, yeah, that's kind of the process.
Is there any new merch you're working on, or you're gonna still do the same, like stickers, pillows, tees? You got to get something new.
So
Maybe
this
like
year, 2020, I'm focused on some really like, I kind of tried to release some really like more collectible items.
oh
So instead of
nice.
like just regular merch, I'm doing like 5 big releases this year. The first two, I don't know if I can kind of really talk about, but the first is a hoodie, but it's like a super premium, really cool hoodie that I've been working on for a few months, and that people I know have been wanting for
The one I designed or no?
a while. So it's no,
Okay.
but that one. And then after that, in the spring, I'm gonna have the basketball coming out. A lot of my stuff got pushed back this year because of the virus and the situation that's going on over in China. So a lot of factories are still closed. They're not allowed to open.
Is that so? Is the
In the
coronavirus
government right now. So
is the coronavirus still affecting your like production?
yeah,
That
it's pushed
sucks.
everything back. Yeah.
I mean, are
So
they?
the first one is still kind of on time, but I don't know if they're just making it illegally or not. Like they're supposed to be closed, but they're like we're shipping it. So I'm like, all right,
Oh,
but I don't know.
speaking
But
of
everything else is definitely a lot of stuff is still closed.
China, because you mentioned China, and so there is no there is no confusion. You are Taiwanese.
Correct.
All right, now I just want to let the people know because I don't want, I don't want to be like, oh yeah, Sue is Chinese. Everybody, she's Taiwanese. So I just want to let that know. All right, so you got the hoodie.
Mm-hmm.
You got. Are you doing shot
The
glasses?
basketball.
You got a basketball. Are you doing shot glass?
Mm-hmm.
As much tequila as you drink, you got to do a shot glass or something.
I'm shocked, but I want the whole bottle.
Oh, that would be
I
nice.
need my own tequila bottle.
Oh, that would be nice.
Yeah.
You should do that. I should spearhead that campaign. You know
And
what?
I got to figure out which tequila company.
Have you thought about that? Are you already working on that, or can I be the front runner of this?
You can put in a bid.
I would put in a bid because I have the perfect tequila brand. I know a very good tequila brand. Oh, all right, so you got.
No, I definitely want to do. That's kind of one of my things to do, like a really dope, like a collector's edition bottle
Oh, that'll be
of a
nice.
spirit. It doesn't matter, it doesn't have to be tequila, but something, a champagne bottle, cognac, whatever. But like someone who has a cool bottle, and then I can kind of add to that.
I'm like a hoarder when it
That's
comes to
something
that
that I
stuff.
want to do.
Remember that? I forget who the artist was. They did like a Hennessy bottle. I'm looking at it right now. I'll never open it because of the
Well,
art.
Hennessy does a lot. They do one every year.
No, but this was one night was like
Mm-hmm.
probably 2000 and like
The
10.
cars.
Who? Well, I got the cars one too. I won't open.
Cars.
Like I'm such a hoarder when it comes to stuff like that. Like I need two bottles. One I can really drink, and one I could just have over.
Right.
Oh
No,
my.
it's a cool thing to flex.
Oh, but my friend, no, big shout out to Decky Smalls. I'll never forget this story. I think he had the cars one, and he had it over he left it over his mother's house or something like that. Do you know when he came to get it? I think his uncle or somebody had drank the whole bottle. Do you know how?
At least you keep the bottle at least.
Yeah, but still, you don't want to open it. It's like,
Yeah, no.
and to be fair, he actually did. He actually returned. He actually did that to a bottle of mine. I'm gonna get myself upset right now thinking about it. I'm not gonna worry about that. But yeah, he did that to a bottle of mine. Anyway, forget all of that. So, but no,
Liquor is meant to be drank.
yeah, I mean that's what the liquor's for. I mean, if anybody knows, you know. I really next time we do this, we have to be like in the same room with each other. I would have preferred to have been like somewhere.
Well, I thought you were doing this last week or whatever that day that when you're on tour.
I know, but I was so busy and it was so hectic. And then I had, you know what? When I map out my birthday tour next year, I'm gonna do a little better mapping out. I'm gonna put like 2 days in each city because I was doing 1 day in each city, and I was having to come
Yeah.
in and get right to stuff. Like you see, we went
I
straight to.
told you, you had a busy schedule than NBA. You didn't even have a day off in between,
Yeah, like oh my god, and
day after day.
do I owe hands $75? Me and him still need to have that talk. Hello, you hear me?
We could do like a drink champs thing.
Did you hear me? I said, do I owe Hen $75? I said, me and him still need to have that talk.
Oh no, can you hold on? Tell the people how you ordered a drink. So you're out for Steph's birthday, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go to the bar, get a drink. Like, let's be considerate because Steph's big hang. Let's get him a drink.
Mind you,
Also.
we had
I'm like,
drink
honey,
tickets
go
at
ask
first.
Steph what he wants.
All right.
So what?
No, I'm letting you finish.
We had drink tickets. So Steph had given us drink tickets. So we have the few. So we think like we have four of us, or five drink tickets. So we order our drinks. So the bartender's like, okay, she's like, the drinks are a little bit more than the drink ticket, but don't worry about it. I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm like, honey, what is the Steph want? So he tells her the bartender. She's like, that one's a little bit more. I can't give you that one with the drink ticket. So Henry's like, oh, it's like, cool, I'll pay for it. He's like, how much is the drink? She's like, $75. I was like, what? That would order a drink that costs freaking $75.
Big shout out to Avion Tequila. All I asked was for Avion Tequila, but I guess it was
the 44
it was a 44
reserve.
reserve. So tell his I got him on his birthday.
Henry still talks about that.
That was.
He's like, this is why no one goes out in New York City.
By the way, I love what you said about it. Like you said, the bartender, she said it without flinching. Like, most people would be like,
Yeah, she said it like it was regular. Like, all right, $75. Like she wasn't afraid. If I was a bartender and there was a drink that was $75, I would be afraid to tell the customer like.
You gotta. I would feel
she didn't even blink.
You gotta tell them up front, like, I mean, but some people might think it's insulting if you be like, you know what, I just want to let you know that drink is $75 before we get it. I mean,
right. But yesterday I went to the supermarket, and have you ever had cotton candy grapes?
Cotton candy grapes. Are they grapes or is it cotton candy?
Yeah, they're grapes, but they're like really. No, they're grapes. They're grapes, but they're like really extra sweet, and they're like, they're harder to find. Uh-huh. But sometimes they're never there. But I saw them yesterday in the supermarket. There's 4 bags. So I was like, I saw how much it was per pound, but I didn't really think about it. So I just put all 4 in the bag, and then I got the rest of the stuff. So I'm checking out, and the lady is like nervous. So I'm like looking at her, and she's like, pointing at. She's like, so these are $10.99 a pound. So the 4 bags, it comes to 52 or whatever it was. Is that okay? And I was like, in my head, I was like, yeah, that's expensive.
I can't put it back.
I just like, I didn't get anything.
Now you have to.
So I was like, no, it's fine. But it really hurt my heart.
Now you gotta eat 4 bags of grapes. Right? That is very expensive.
Now I really have to eat them.
It's fine. I said no, it's very expensive, but what's crazy about expensive versus like fruit? Like everybody has their things where they won't spend, like they don't mind spending money on, and things that they do mind.
Yeah, but grapes is not that thing for me.
What's one thing that you don't mind spending money on? Like mine is, I love jackets. Like a jacket, I don't care how much it costs. If I want it,
I'm a jacket person. You know what? I always buy jackets when I'm sad.
When you're sad.
Jackets make me really happy.
What? What?
Yeah, every time I'm sad, I buy a jacket. I have so many jackets.
I'm trying to think.
I call them my sad jackets.
Your sad jackets. I'm trying to think. Do I buy? I don't. I'm trying to think.
My thing is, I think hotels.
Hotels.
Or like vacation things.
Oh yeah, yes.
I like really nice hotels.
I do too. Yeah, I don't mind. You know what? But
I think anything I'm willing to spend money on as an adult is everything I was deprived of as a child. I think that's where it comes from. Like my mom is like literally the cheapest, most frugal human being you will ever meet.
Oh,
so
wow.
we used to stay at like Motel 6s and like Howard Johnson's and stuff like that. Like when we would travel, like even if we're going to Disneyland. like just like she's like, we're only her thing is like we're only sleeping here.
We're only
Like,
sleeping here.
like
I like
everything was
that.
that's like her thing. It's like we don't sleep here and we're like just showering, sleeping here. But I was like, there's no point. But like that was always her whole thing, my whole life. So like my thing now as an adult is like spending money on hotel rooms.
So now your thing is like I gotta get the infinity pool on the roof. I have to have the suite. I have to have it. It has to be a yacht docked by it.
All right. Because I feel like, and also it's like I don't usually travel to one place that many times. Like, so if this is the only time in my entire life I'm going to be here, like I need it to be the best possible experience.
No, it's like no. When you travel, you gotta let all inhibitions go. I remember we went to Tokyo this past summer, and I'll never forget. Hold on, let me see if I can find the bill. We went to this restaurant. First of all, when you get recommendations from people for different restaurants or anywhere, be mindful of the people that you got the recommendations from because
Right.
yeah, because like so I got the recommendations from somebody that I really love, but they don't have any sense of money. So we went to this restaurant and it was
Right.
amazing dining experience. It was probably like could seat like 10 people at most. They were doing the most in there. Everything was live. They
Mm-hmm.
were reaching in, cooking it. I helped make the sticky rice over in the corner. It was a whole production.
Right. You showed me the picture.
Oh yeah, the bill came out, and I was like, oh, I mean, I didn't know what the conversion was at the time, but it was like 78,000 yen. I was like, oh, well,
Yeah.
I guess this is right. But then it was something on there. I'm like, I didn't have 27 of these, but it wasn't. This was just me ignorant. It wasn't 27. It was whatever the writing was. It looked like 27, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like, let me do this conversion. The dinner, dinner ended up. We weren't full, mind you. It was really for the experience, and to say we had original, authentic Japanese cuisine. Great experience.
How much was the bill?
Like $800, $900 before the tax, before a tip.
Man.
And
And
I'm just
then the other thing is though, like even if you're taking like it's not also about the money because like I feel like going into like hole in the wall spots or like places
right,
that only locals go and you could get like the most like bottom meal for like under
right.
$10.
But guess
But
what?
those are also recommendations.
I have that experience and I have that story that forever. It was the great. Like going to Tokyo was one of the greatest trips I've ever had in my life, and it was just like you'll really enjoy yourself if you. I mean, you got to be smart if you can, if you're blessed enough. But like, just put your you can't be counting your pockets when you're going on certain trips. Just enjoy yourself, and you'll live to fight another day. Trust me, you'll make that money back. I was looking like I looked like
Right.
this is a
Yeah,
thousand.
I've never regretted any money I've spent traveling.
But then my issue is if I spend $1,000, if I spend if I spend $1,000 on dinner, guess what? I'm not gonna stop for the rest of the day. It's just like, well, now I mean I done already spent 1,000. We might as well just keep drinking.
No, I would definitely stop.
No.
That would make me definitely stop.
See, that's
I
my
already
thing.
spent $1,000. I just opened a can of them.
I'm like, let's just keep drinking and
Then
then
10.
we'll just eat regular sushi tomorrow or something like that. We'll balance it out.
Yeah, but then you never do because now your standards are like higher.
This is true. I mean, you can come back down and react. At some point, you have to come back there. You'll get. I mean, I end up back in Cleveland, Ohio. You end up back in New York, so I have to come back to to a
Yeah, I have
no.
to buy $75 drink, so I got
Yo, look.
moderation.
So look, I get back to Cleveland. I get back to Cleveland from Tokyo, right? And I'm like, yo, I'm on this high horse. I'm like, yo, my homegirl Katie from our running group. She was like, yo, I found an authentic Japanese spot. And in Cleveland, we should go. I was all on it. I'm like, let's go. And it looked nice. It very reminiscent of what I had just saw in Tokyo. I'm like, this is great. So we went in there. You know why I was disappointed, Sue? There was not one Japanese person in the restaurant. Not one. Not one. You're gonna tell me you went through all of this to have this Japanese decor and all of this, and you don't have a Japanese worker in the restaurant? Everybody's white. Everybody just white. Just white Anglo-Saxon Protestant.
Yeah.
pure white. You're just not gonna. I'm like,
I mean,
I'm
are
like
there
that.
Asian people in Cleveland?
There's not even in this. I didn't. You said it. I could say it. I was like, you could have just put anybody that's Asian in this restaurant, and I would have been fine. I would have been fine. Anybody, if anybody would have just been Asian to come out the back, anything. So the host they sit us, and then the bartender comes out. I'm like, all right, it's a white man. I'm like, all right, cool. He's fine. Next thing I know, he goes in the back and he puts on gloves and he starts making the sushi. I'm like, what is this? I'm like, I'm never coming back here. Like y'all have. Meanwhile, there's no lie. This is 1,000% true. Meanwhile, there is a cookie or a candy store right next to it. 3 Asian Americans working the front desk at the candy store. I said, are y'all serious? I said, do y'all have any idea what's going on next door? Like, what? I was so mad. But that was me coming back to reality, to Cleveland, where I have to,
All right, we have to end this.
Why? You got to get back to work?
Cause no one cares about a conversation.
Oh, you're right. Right. Yeah, I know this has
like
really...
we're still talking like we're just on the phone with each other.
All right, well, you got to get back to touching up. So you about to touch up your paintings, or what are you doing? Letting it dry or what?
No, I have a quick, my last meeting, like 10 minutes, and then I'm going. So I have 8 cards in 5 weeks.
Hold on. Everything you just said was mad broken up. Can you repeat everything? Was just mad broken up.
Okay. I said I have a meeting in 10 minutes.
Okay.
And then after that, I'm going to eat a cheeseburger because I haven't ate carbs in 5 weeks.
Oh, I saw you had a cheeseburger countdown.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to get a cheeseburger tonight. It's going to be my cheat break for finishing.
You trying to get abs for the summer?
I'm trying to be skinny for Daddy's wedding in DR.
Oh, when is it? Is it July?
It's in April. It's in a month.
Oh, you'll be fine. Less carbs, more tequila.
Wow.
Less carbs, more tequila.
Yeah, I'm literally only drinking water and alcohol.
I mean, that's the story of my life.
Like, nothing.
All right, so I'll let you get to your meeting.
I don't drink, like, juices. I don't have any mixers or anything.
Well, I had to, so I try to do, a juice cleanse every Monday because, I didn't really drink this past weekend, but for my birthday, I was drinking so much, and I was just like, I got to get all of this out of my system. It was ridiculous. So, but the juice cleanse, you should do a juice cleanse. I actually, I lose hella weight when I do the juice cleanse. You should do one. You should do it just for, 2 days. And you can have, it'll be juice.
I used to do the blueprint cleanse for 5 days.
What is, I don't know what that is. But you can do the juice cleanse.
Blueprint cleanse? You get it at Whole Foods.
Oh, I'm not here. But I just go to a mom and pop juicer and get the juice cleanse from them. And you can also, it's not just, you can drink water as well. And you can also have raw nuts. You can eat raw peanuts or raw walnuts, anything raw.
I don't like that.
I know it's not about what you like. You want abs and you want to be skinny. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Talk about what you don't like. Yeah, you try to be skinny next month. You talk about what you don't like. Ridiculous. You can't.
I've already been doing this for a month.
Beggars can't be choosers.
I lost 6 pounds.
Oh, congratulations.
What?
I said congrats.
Thanks.
All right. Well, I'll let you get to your.
All right. I have to go.
You mean your cheeseburger. I'll talk to you later. Thank you so much, and I love you. Appreciate you.
I love you too.
All right. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.